So here we have seen two types of how we can just send the pet body using the string directly, sending as a string directly, or through a variable by just saving it into a string variable. Okay, so let's see the concept of serialization and deserialization, where we can send the body of the pet for this API. Okay, so in order to do that, let me just create a new package where I'm going to have, where I will just create it inside this new package day 3 pet body, and inside this I will create a new class which is pet body. Okay, so what does a pet body mandatory fields that we need to send as part of a pet body are, we need to, let's see, in the Postman we need to send the category, name, and photo URLs and tags we can just ignore, and we are going to send the status. Let me just go here, and let me also send the int pet ID. So int ID, and as I want to make it as a concept of encapsulation, I will make it as private variable, and private string name, private string status. So I want to send even the category, right? I want to send even the category. So, but category is not directly available. It is available in the form of a JSON object. So, what I will do is like, I will just create a new class which is dedicated for the pet category. And I will just send what are the required fields. What are the required fields here? ID and the name, right? So I will just create private int ID and private int name, right? Name. So what I will do here is, this is string, right? I'm sorry. This is a string. And here I will just create a generator constructor first with the two variables. And also I can have one of the generate constructor with a default constructor by selecting none. And I will have some getters and setters. So I will generate, what's the error over here? Yeah. So I will also generate getters and setters for the two variables. And now what I can do, I can just create an object of this pet category, and I can send it as a variable over here. So I will say private pet category, and this is the category I want to send it. Now I will create as usual the constructor with the default constructor as well as the with all the parameters. And now I will create getters as well as the setters for all the variables which I have created as a private variables. Okay, so now this is done. So what we can do is like get to the complete flow, this test case, and here I can just, instead of sending it as a string variable, I can just create first the object for the pet category equal to new pet category, and I will send the ID and name as a parameterized constructor. I will be using the parameterized constructor where I will be sending the ID and the name. Let me just give as dog. Okay. Similarly, I will create a pet body. I will say pet body equal to new pet body, which is going to accept the ID. Let me just give the name as Scooby, and I will give the status to be first as a pending status. Pending status. And the last one is I should give the category. So I will take this category and I will be sending it over here. Okay. So now this pet body, I can just have it over here. Okay. So now if I just run this, so a particular pet will be created with an ID as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there is some mistake over here. Let me just see. Okay, one expectation failed. Okay, it is taking more than that. Let me just see once again. Okay, so a pet has been created with our ID as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and with name and the status as this. Okay, and the category information is also uploaded. Okay, so this is how our new pet has been created. Similarly, it is the same thing if I want to have a put request also. So the only thing that changes is here instead of post, I should use put request. And here I want to make some changes, like I want to give another name for this particular dog, and I want to make it as status as available. So let's see whether this is working or not. Okay, so it has been updated with the name as well as the status to available. So this has been created correctly. Okay. So in a similar fashion, what I can do is like instead of hard coding, like I want to get the response out of it. I got the response out of it, and I want to make use of the ID that has been created, and I want to send it to the GET request. Okay, so in order to do that, what I can do is like I will extract response dot path, because path of an ID gives me the ID of a new pet that is created. So I will just save it inside a new pet ID. So I will keep it as a global variable, new pet ID. And here I will initialize the new pet ID to this particular response.path. So it will return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I want to do is like I want to pass on the same to the GET request. So how I can pass? I can just say here I will say new pet ID. Okay, so what happens? So for suppose after creating, let me just have the first one, priority of creating equal to 1. So let's have the priority as 1. So that means it should execute first the creation post request, and then I want to update it. And after updation, I want to perform the get operation. Let's say I want to execute these three, and after that I want to execute the delete. Even for the delete, what I can do is like, instead of hard coding the value like this, I can give whatever new pet ID that is being created, I want to just delete that. Okay, so let's run on a whole the complete flow. So first the post request, because priority is equal to 1, has been integer cannot be, okay, I got it. So that is an integer, right? So what I will do is like, I will convert it into a string. Okay, so now let's run it again. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, the pet ID has been created with initially as Scooby and status as pending. After updation, the same ID, pet ID, which has the name as Snoopy and status as available. And on that, you have performed the get request. So even if you want to just have the pretty print of this, you can have it. Otherwise, this has been verified. And after that, the delete operation is also successful, because it says that as this is successfully giving the status code as 200, that means it is passed. Okay, so that is the complete flow that we normally do. So we have discussed, one is sending through a direct string and using a variable like of string, and this is the most used way of sending the body, where you will be creating the Pojo classes. These are the Pojo classes. So using the serialization and deserialization concept, we just use send the body for this particular request. Okay, so we can also here, whatever we have done is we have converted the Java class into the JSON. So this comes under serialization, right? Serialization. And similarly, you can also deserialize. So how to deserialize is, instead of just having this, I will take it as a response. Let's say RE, and I want to convert this as a whatever pet body class type that we have, pet body dot class. That means you are converting this particular this particular request, this particular response, whatever JSON you are converting into a pet body dot class. Okay, this is nothing but the deserialization concept. Okay, why am I getting the error? Let's see. Required type response provided pet body. Okay, sorry. This is a pet body, right? Pet body, pet body equal to. So, if for suppose I want to get the ID, whatever ID has been generated, then I can use SY. and I can use pet ID is pet body dot get ID. Okay, so let's run this again. Okay, you are getting some error. So unrecognized property exception. There are, as you know, there are certain fields that we didn't define, like photo URL, and the other thing is like photo URL, and you didn't define something like tags also, right? So that's why you're getting this particular error. So in this case, what you should do, go to pom.xml and you should add the Jackson data bind. That is one thing that you need to add. And also you should go to the pet body as you have or not defined all the parameters. So what I will do is like at the rate ignore, yeah, JSON, ignore properties, which is from coming from the fast xml.jackson. And here I should use ignore unknown equal to true. So it will ignore any unknown parameters as you have set it as true. Let's run it again, the complete flow. So it has run and the pet ID is 12345 and it has done with the delete. So whenever you just say again test get, uh, whenever you just call get method, what happens, it will give you a 404 error because the pet has been deleted as part of this test case, test result, test delete. Okay, so that is how you can work with the complete flow. Okay.